Welcome back to Movies Decoded. This is your source for movie and pop culture news. Today, we'll be discussing the 5th episode of Marvel Studios' The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this time there are spoilers ahead.
Feels weird picking it up again.
The 5th episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, titled Truth, sets up the conclusion of the series, returning to the show's slower, character-developing pace, but ultimately giving a lot for viewers to take on and in while and after watching the episode. Episode 5 serves as perhaps the most satisfying episode when it comes to narrative, as its first half is heavily influenced by the previous episode. For starters, Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson gang up on John Walker to take him down. They end up doing just that and retrieve Steve Rogers' shield from him. This sequence serves as the only action and combat featured in the entire episode. However, this doesn't take away from the narrative in any manner. This week's installment doesn't focus as heavily on John Walker and the Flag Smashers as episode 4, but it does take some time for viewers to understand what they're up to. John Walker's title as Captain America has been revoked, and his story from then on easily reflects on that notion. This is probably the most satisfying decision made in the series, and by being decided upon, it takes weight off of the plot of the episode, as the narrative has a lot to deal with already. However, John Walker is approached by a person who wishes to help. Enter Countessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, an espionage agent appearing in Marvel Comics' S.H.I.E.L.D. issues. She also appeared in 1998's Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but most try to forget that movie. It becomes evident that Marvel Studios is setting up something big for her in the future. Walker also visits Lamar Hoskins' parents to give his condolences for their late son, adding more emotional dialogue to an already extremely heartfelt episode. The Flag Smashers, meanwhile, have discovered the closing of the refuge in Latvia due to the harboring of wanted fugitives. They are also now trading weapons with Jorge's Batroc, who in turn wants to kill Sam Wilson. But that's pretty much it. Episode 5 takes a lot of time for viewers to reconnect with Sam and Bucky, who haven't gotten a great deal of attention with the multiple character arcs mixed in. Sam visits Isaiah Bradley, a black super soldier introduced in the second episode, to learn more about his history. A very emotional scene is what takes place, as Bradley explains the life and love he was ripped away from to be experimented on and imprisoned by the US government. As it turns out, Sam was right when he said that the last line always turns you off, because it is then that Bradley says that a black man can never be Captain America. The line leaves a lasting impression on Sam throughout the episode, and serves as great character development for him when he decides to stand up against those odds and take up the mantle. Viewers return to Sam's home in Louisiana, as well as Sokovia, as the title characters begin to branch off in their own directions. It is here that the show's conclusion seems to grow nearer. Bucky finds Zemo at the Sokovian Memorial, and he turns him into the Dora Milaje, who he asks a favor of. Sam, meanwhile, tries to live a normal life for a while and mend some problems at home. With the help of his sister, neighbors, and even Bucky, who shows up later, all of them pitch in to fix the Wilson family's boat. Bucky, when he arrives, comes with a briefcase for Sam from Wakanda, its contents yet to be revealed. When the two finally have some time to spare, Sam and Bucky talk about the mantle of Captain America. Bucky finally understands what it's like for Sam to become the new captain, and why the role is such a burden to him. Sam, meanwhile, urges Bucky to finally follow his own path and encourages him to be his own person, or hero even. A friendship is formulated between the two, which serves as a very nice break from the banter that existed between them in previous episodes and films. Bucky seemingly leaves to follow his own path, while Sam undergoes intense training with the SHIELD to become Captain America. He then determines the Flag Smasher's next move, an attack on a Global Repatriation Council meeting in New York. Sam is right, and the episode ends with him opening the case. The episode does include a post-credits scene, however, in which John Walker is making his own shield. Additionally, there are returns of other characters, including Sharon Carter and Joaquin Torres. Sharon Carter now seems to be working with Batroc, who in turn is working with the Flag Smashers with the hopes of killing Sam Wilson. Is Sharon Carter the bad guy? Or is this one elaborate scheme to foil the real bad guy's plans? We'll have to wait until next week to find out. Torres is also here to help Sam track the Flag Smashers' moves and take them down. All in all, Episode 5 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Truth, really takes the time to further develop its characters. The plot of the episode, although weighing with messages, moves slower than viewers may anticipate, especially since next week's episode is the climax and conclusion of the series. However, the slow pacing is not unwelcome, as it does the story and its characters justice while setting up the end in the process. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is now streaming on Disney+. What did you think of Episode 5 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Leave your thoughts and comments below. You can like and subscribe to hear more from Movies Decoded, as well as check out more Movies Decoded content on YouTube right now.